Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's take a quick look. I started at 5'8". I've had not a correction. I've treated my low, and it's a game I play. And let's take a look. 92% within range. Still quite high. My average blood sugar, pretty good at 6.3. Today, I want to discuss my disability. When does diabetes become a disability, and how did it work for me? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Press the like symbol if you enjoyed any part of this video. Thank you. So, as some of you may know, I now reside in a long-term care facility. And it's not a long-term care facility just for diabetics. It's for people who need a little extra care. Now, I haven't worked since 2014. Oh my God, it's gonna be 10 years. I think it was April. In April, it'll be 10 years that I've been disabled. And what does that mean as a type 1 diabetic? Well, let's just put it this way. You need so much time to be spent on dealing with your diabetes. And what does that really entail? Just because you're diabetic does not necessarily mean you're disabled. In fact, you need to be out there experiencing life. Dealing with, my English today works well, dealing with what's causing your blood sugars to go up, learning how to get on with your life. That is sort of the best way you could deal with your diabetes. And since I was diagnosed October 7th, 1977, I didn't think that this was a negative, that it was a disability. I just took my insulin and went on the way. I really started to notice problems when I started to try to take care of myself. And that was a challenge. Days weren't working correct. I tried days of eating exact same things, and nothing would work right. And I had left one position and another position didn't work out, and I had gone to the doctor and said, well, I'm on financial assistance right now. And she asked, well, how are you? And I said, I was just sort of making it. I was able to take care of my mom's apartment when she was, while she was living up in the Okanagan, and she would come down here. However, things never changed. I would always have problems. I'd end up going into the hospital, sorry for my hands, and sometimes spending up to a month. And of course, I had doctors who, up to this point, kept saying, the best thing for you is to get out there in the real world. And I think a lot of times they were thinking I was hiding behind my diabetes, which wasn't true whatsoever. I did not try to hide. I'd follow plans set out by my doctor, and I went in, and it was just an average chat, and I said, well, I'm getting X, and she asked, like I mentioned before, could I survive on this? And I said, yeah, it's a little tough, but I'm doing it. And I mentioned the only way I could get more money if I was disabled. And she turned to me and said, Mike, you are disabled. And that kind of just took me for a loop. I never, up to this point, considered myself to be disabled. I was told there are two different types. There is British Columbia and there is CPP disability. Well, I was told British Columbia would be a breeze, CPP would be a little bit harder to get. I sent in the paperwork, it came back. Super. I sent in my British Columbia. Twice it came back with questions. Okay, we may not have lived up to their standards, which is great. Okay. Now, don't quote me exactly, and things may have changed, but at the beginning of my disability, you had to devote 14 hours a week to your diabetes. At this point, I was having some problems dressing, and I would just go low for no reason. And once I went on to CPP, I was getting, still not a great amount, but I was getting enough to live on. I was able to get by. Then I finally got to BC, and now I'm on disability. But that doesn't mean I stopped trying to strive to get a better blood sugar. You know, you can sit here and sort of say, oh, well, yes, I'm disabled because of my diabetes. It's hard to control, so I've just given up. I've never totally given up. I still get wacky days. Excuse me. But everyone does. Every type 1 diabetic. But I have to be changing sites. I have to be, if my blood sugars go up, I have to, I know I can't, I'm itchy today. I have to constantly read my blood sugar, see what's going on, contact my diabetic nurse, contact my endocrinologist, my family. It's a full-time job. Now, people assume that type 1 diabetics if they get it, sorry, I'm a lot mid-thought here. They should, if a person comes down with type 1 diabetes, they should immediately be disabled and shouldn't have to work. Well, with the right medication, you get into your routine. If you have great control, excuse me, you can work and live a great life. Diabetes doesn't always work that way for me. And we have to take a look and try to find out. We've done many different things. We've looked at different things coming. And I've got a new insulin pump for it and fun along those routines. But being diabetic and being disabled isn't fun. And some people just say, well, yeah, I just want free money. I don't want to work. Well, it can be tough. And it's not like you're getting hundreds of $1,000s every year to live off. A lot of the stuff you need, your medical and stuff, is pretty well taken care of. But being on disability is an awful lot of paperwork. There's an awful lot of questions. I finally reached the point where they determined that my diabetes diabetes disability is indefinite. I know I'm kind of all over this is bad. I took a couple of days off. You won't see it in the vlogs, but I was ahead of the game, took a couple of days off. So I'm just trying to get back in it. If you have worked, take a look at CPP disability. If you can't work and you need resources, take a look at BC disability. Have a chat with your doctor. Have a chat with your endocrinologist. Find out if they consider disability, if it works right for you. For me, I don't know if I could work and take care of my diabetes. I tried it for many years, and a lot of times it had disastrous outcomes. So keep that in mind. Send in the paperwork. The worst thing they could come back and say no. If CPP, you send in your paperwork, if they come back and they say, for whatever reason, no, you don't qualify, still try to apply for BC. There's different rules for what constitutes CPP disability and PWD disability. Contact Service Canada website. They have all the forms for you. And contact I may get this wrong, Ministry of Social Services and Housing and Poverty Reduction for if you inquire about BC disability. And with that, have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.